Hello there, my name is Ryan Ismerlian and I am the conveying product engineer here at Novatec. Today I'm here to talk to you about our positive displacement vacuum pump product line. As many of you know, vacuum pumps are very essential to your pneumatic conveying system. In order to generate vacuum to pull material through a series of plumbing lines from your source, whether that be a silo, surge bin, gaylord, or bulk bag, to your destination via a vacuum receiver. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with our product lines, I'm going to be starting with our traditional workhorse, the VPDB. This pump is a positive displacement pump using a traditional bi-lobe blower. With the bi-lobe blower, we are actually driving it via a belt drive system connected to our 10 horsepower motor in this particular instance. Here is where we're generating all that vacuum needed for that system. Now, before that air can enter the blower, we do need to protect that blower in order to not have any contamination or cause any damage to the unit. And in order to do that, we have two filter systems. One that's built onto the pump, which we call our safety filter, which you can find right on the vacuum line. From there, we have another filter up front, which is also our dust collector, which collects the larger particulate. Now, before entering that safety filter, we have what we call a vacuum breaker valve and relief valve combination. With this valve, it allows us to put our vacuum pump into an idle state when it's energized. This allows the pump to run without vacuum on it when there is no demand in the system, reducing its load and allowing it to run in a more efficient state. This valve also acts as our relief valve and allows us to have a ceiling for our vacuum generation. So that way we're not overtaxing the blower unit and thereby increasing the lifespan of the blower. Now, also included on this pump, just like the rest of our product lines, we have a built-in starter box, or built on. This includes a motor starter, overload protection, circuit breaker, local disconnect, and local low voltage wiring for all your solenoid operated and motor starter control signals. Now, we offer these pumps from 1.5 inch line up to 4 inch line, ranging from 3 to 25 horsepower. Now that we've touched on our VPDB series, we can now move on to the next product line that we have to offer, which is our SVP, or our Silencer vacuum pump. This particular pump is similar to our VPDB series in terms of performance, but in one area it excels is operation of sound. The SVP series is able to operate under 80 decibels, but that also means we cap our pump offering up to 10 horsepower for this particular size. Now, with 80 decibels, you don't necessarily need a sound enclosure. That we do offer for the VPDB series in order to bring sound levels to a safe level, as VPDBs and one of our other product series run over 80 decibels. Now, you'll see that this is in a different structural format. We actually have our silencer vertical, which allows us to add an additional stack breaking noise above ear level. We have our special blower that actually helps reduce this particular sound. That is a variant of the blower that we use on the VPDB. And we also have vibration pads that allow us to remove any of that vibration that could be generated through the frame to the concrete floor or mezzanine. In addition to that, we have a specialty breaker valve that actually has a muffler built in that even reduces sound during idle operation. This pump is great for where you need minimal space, as the footprint is about 18% smaller than the pump that's over there. Now that we've gone through the Silencer vacuum pump, or the SVP, we can now move on to the next pump in our offering, and that would be our MVP, our MaxFlow vacuum pump. Now, this particular pump was something that was introduced to give us a better pump offering in lieu of going to the next step, which, as some of you would know, would be a claw pump, which is another positive displacement technology. But those are very expensive. So we actually looked at blower alternatives, and we ended up with a tri-lobe helical blower that allows us to generate higher vacuum, lower temperatures at a lower sound. So that by generating more of that vacuum, we're able to have this performance level exceed what is offered on our VPDB or SVP. If we just step backwards onto our PD pumps that we've already discussed, those operate around 11.5 inches of mercury to pull your material from point A to point B. Where now with the MVP, we are operating closer to 14 inches, giving you that added vacuum for those longer distances, harder to flow materials, and for greater throughputs. Now you'll see that there's a lot in common that the MVP has with the VPDB. Primarily, there's only a handful of differences. One that I already mentioned is the blower technology. And two is we have a mechanical relief valve that allows us to handle higher vacuum relief and is more of a safety measure in order to make sure that this pump does not fail. In addition, we also have a temperature safety switch. Because you're generating higher vacuum, you need temperature protection, especially if that Kunkel valve or that safety relief valve ends up failing itself. It's more redundancy for safety. Now that we've talked about the 3 PD pump offerings that we have here at Novatec, our traditional VPDB, our silencer SVP, and our high vacuum MVP, now I'd like to talk to you about a new member of our pump family. This pump is called the Infinity Series. Now, this particular pump configuration will take many features of our SVP and our MVP and combine it into a new class of pump with great energy savings. If you would like to watch a video that goes more in depth on the features of the Infinity pump, feel free to click the link provided. And if you have any other questions or want more information on our VPDB, SVP, or MVP, feel free to visit our website at www.novatec.com or reach out to a sales representative for more information and a quote. Thank you for watching.